So, closing out my soliloquy because this is supposed to be short. It's not the whole, you know, take. So, in this scenario that I was given, APAC will be Rome. We have to be able to distinguish between the time and era of these references that I'm making, and so you know how to apply each role. So, APAC will be Rome. Now, the priest always and the politician always have to be off the land. So, so the politicians will be the citizens of the United States of America, whichever way we're looking at them and the time of era that we're using to make the references, because there wasn't as much politics and governance back in the time and era that we're using as references. The priesthood kind of like stood for like the governorship. And another reference you could use to make this comparison would be like the story of Thomas Wolsey, Cardinal Thomas Wolsey, back in I believe the 13th, 14th century of like King Henry the Eighth. So you can see the roles that this priest played, because if they stood, which the problem that most people are having with the politicians that are being lobbied by APAC, for example, now, which is conquering the 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 state of mind for the what the politicians are supposed to be and represent. I mean, you could be a politician and represent so many kind of things, but you have to have your infrastructure, the things that make you who you are, and the 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 constituents that put you in the place to be able to represent them. So once those reasons and things are being contaminated, you will have the fall of whatever religious institute of that time is, and as for governance, as to how we're seeing what the political atmosphere of the United States is now. And the questions that I'm trying to pose out of this is, which this is about, is like I was answering a couple of questions, is could you imagine if these politicians actually played their role? Where would the United States be? How strong do you think the United States will be? Like, are we gonna be in this time and era that we find ourselves in, or the atmosphere that we find ourselves in? And as for the time and era, can you imagine if the Pharisees and the Sadducees, like um, what is his name, Caiaphas, as embodied Jesus Christ and just kind of indoctrinated some of his policies and what he was trying to say, or just whatever, embodying what he was, the philosophy of what he stood for.